Let me read this statement to you. I appreciate you coming and assembling so quickly here. And I'm sorry that we weren't able to get the 4 o'clock press conference done. But the reasons for that, I'll read my statement and I'll read a statement from Coach Kelsey. At 3:30 this afternoon, this is my statement. At 3:30 this afternoon, Pat Kelsey asked to be released from his employment agreement at UMass, which was executed on Tuesday. After speaking with Pat about his decision, I honored his request, and we are now working through how this impacts our executed memorandum of understanding. In my conversation with Pat, he made it clear that the reasons were very personal, and upon his request, I will honor our confidential conversation. Pat stressed that his decision was not based on the University of Massachusetts or our basketball program. Again, his reasons were personal in nature. I know that the unforeseen circumstances surrounding his decision were not in our control. At this time, we will resume our search for the next leader of our program, confident that we will hire a remarkable coach who will return our program to national prominence. That's my statement. Coach Kelsey's statement. For personal reasons, I have asked the University of Massachusetts to allow me to be released from the offer I accepted to be the next head men's basketball coach. To be clear, this decision is entirely personal and in no way an assessment of the commitment UMass made to me personally or to the resources available at UMass to have a nationally recognized program. I apologize to Chancellor Subaswamy, Director of Athletics Ryan Bamford, members of the basketball program, and the UMass community who embraced my appointment this week and made me feel welcome since arriving on campus yesterday. With those two statements, I'm happy to try to answer any questions I can.
Ryan, at what point today did you realize that maybe things weren't going the way you thought they were going?
I'll be honest, Matt, until I received the call at about 3:25, my statement for my press conference remarks were done. I was going over some things. We had lunch with Coach. He had staff meetings this morning, and through lunchtime, we left him for 2 hours to prepare for the press conference, and 3:25 he called. So I had absolutely no indication that this was on the horizon, and obviously as soon as he called, I immediately met with him.
Does the basics of your memo of understanding include anything financial at that point in terms of what would happen if something broke?
Once he signed it on Tuesday and we both executed it, there's buyout language in there as is standard for coaching contracts and coaching MOUs. And at this time, the first 2 years of that MOU were $1 million buyout. So in my statement, that's what we're trying to sort through now. This is so new and fresh that I want to make sure that we have time to sit and talk about that with our university leadership and with Coach Kelsey and his representatives before we make any legal statement to that may impact that legally, I should say.
Hey Ryan Walsh, 22 News. This isn't a really good look for either side. Any thoughts on what Coach Kelsey did to the UMass program, setting it back? Is this a momentary setback or a setback for a while?
I'm going to tell you right now, this is a great job, and this is a great university. We are a top public research university. This is a wonderful athletic department. It's an unbelievable community. We're going to go find somebody who wants to come here and return us to national prominence. There's no doubt in my mind. And this is just a road bump for us. And I'm disappointed because I thought we had somebody who was going to take us there. But I'm going to tell you right now, the interest in this job, as it has been the last 2 weeks, is strong. And we're going to find the next leader who's going to take us exactly where we need to go and who's going to represent us and allow our student athletes to have a remarkable experience while we go and win games and contribute to this community. And so I don't think it impacts our brand at all. I don't think it impacts this program. And I am steadfast that we're going to go find the next leader, and it's going to be somebody great.
Ryan, going off of that, student athletes, how are the players feeling? I mean, they just thought they had a coach ready to go. They were excited for next year. How are they feeling?
The students are disappointed, you know, obviously, just like I am. I met with them 10 minutes ago. I addressed this head on. I gave them a copy of this statement. I told them that the conversation that I had with Pat was, honestly, it was a quick one, but the last thing I wanted to do was convince somebody to be here. And because we have a great job. And I just, you know, it didn't seem like a good fit for Pat. And once he told me that, and I asked if there was anything that we could do, and he said it wasn't about us. And the other pieces of that, I don't want to share because I told him I would keep him in confidence. But I told our young men, that we're going to find a great leader. And that, you know, honestly, I told them this was on me. You know, as a leader of this organization, this is on me. And I take this personally. And finding our next head coach is personal to me because I owe it to the people in our department, our student athletes, to find somebody great.
Ryan, are you in a position right now to pick up where you left off, or have things changed that you would need to sort of take steps back and to before moving forward in your search?
That's a great question. We left things in a great place with anybody who had interest in this position. It's so fresh, I don't know. We haven't reached out to anyone, and that will happen here shortly to go out back. And I'll tell you this, we have some remarkable people who are interested in our job. And we'll go back out, find out who remains interested, and find the best fit for us.
Is there a tendency right now, especially given that this is the headline that's connected to you guys right now, to put the next coach in place, to put this behind you, or is there a scenario where you take your time in going forward?
I will look at this just like we looked at the search initially. We want to find the absolute best person we can for the University of Massachusetts. And if that takes us a day or a week, we're going to find that person. And I don't know what the timetable will be, but I know that we've had a chance to talk to a lot of good people, and we'll continue that dialogue moving forward.
Did Pat meet with the team? And if so, how long?
Pat did not meet with the team.
You mentioned your confidentiality agreement. Can you say, on your behalf, this was a personal decision by him, not a financial one?
Not financial, not anything to do with the University of Massachusetts. I made sure that there was nothing to do with us, and he assured me of that. He apologized profusely and said this was personal, and to which I leave that to him to speak to.
You said that Pat didn't meet with the team. Do you know the extent to which he, talked to some of the players, spoke with some of the players at this point?
He's met with our team. He met with our team yesterday. I introduced him formally to them last night. He had dinner with them last night, and we had planned on having one-on-one individual meetings with them over the next few days. But once he made the decision, we didn't have him meet with the team after that point.
Ryan, there's rampant sort of rumors in this situation, given that the timing of some other openings. Are you under the impression that he's going back to Winthrop, or that this is affected by other things?
I'm under the impression that he's going back to Winthrop, but I don't think it's my place to confirm or deny that. But that is my impression from him and other parties.
Ryan, how many people were in your list of finalists originally?
I'm not gonna comment on the search because we're now back in it. So there have been a lot of reports on who we talked to. I can tell you they weren't true. Some of the people that were out there we just simply didn't even have a conversation with, and there are some that we did that aren't out there. So we're gonna circle the wagons and go back out, and until this search is complete and we have our next head coach, I'm gonna go back, and this will be again my last public statement until we come back out with a new head coach.
When you met with Coach Kelsey, did that end the search? Are there more guys you may talk to in the near future, or are you going to kind of circle back with the guys you already spoke with?
I don't know yet because I want to see who's out there, who remains in that pool. I can tell you Doris Griffin, Tom McElroy, and I, along with Eddie Fogler, who helped us as a search consultant, felt very strongly about the pool. And Pat emerged. He won the job. Pat won the job. I give him all the credit for winning the job and wanting to be here when we offered it to him. but that doesn't mean that there aren't other people out there. I just don't know if, what the interest level will be now going back out. And so we're gonna find that out probably the next 24 hours. And we certainly, it may widen our scope. There may be other candidates that come available that we aren't aware of. So we'll take a look.
Is there a risk that comes into play that in other jobs at other times, their coaches don't want to appear like they were someone's second choice? Is that a risk that
Sure.
comes into this?
Yeah, there is. The best thing I can say is that, again, Pat won this job when we interviewed him, and we felt very strongly about him as a replacement for Derek Kellogg. And I can't speak to the sentiment of some of those candidates, but I can speak to the strengths of this university, and that we've got a lot to offer, and that we're going to be a championship caliber program. It's just a matter of having the right leader in place.
How does, when you make your eventual next offer to the next coach, how does what you've been through in the last 12 hours affect how you'll approach making the offer to the next coach?
That's a good question. I'll be honest with you, I have not considered sort of the next steps, and I think I've got to sit and clear my head a little bit after this. And the one thing I think publicly I'd like to say, because I know that there are a lot of fans out there that are probably very disappointed, and I'll say the same thing I said to our kids. At the end of the day, this is on me, and I'm going to go out and endeavor to find a great leader for us. And I hope that they have faith in the things that we've done in my 2 years here, that we're going to be able to do that, because this university, this Commonwealth, and our fan base deserves nothing but the best. And we're going to do everything we can to make that happen. And once I have a chance to sit and digest this a little bit and figure out what the path forward is, we're going to hard charge, and we're going to find the right leader.
Ryan, would you maybe consider someone local, a local coach coming maybe from closer around than?
I think we'll consider all sorts of different candidates. The profile candidates that we've been looking at were all very different, and I think it's something that we can, we'll certainly focus in on as we get through the next probably 24 hours.
Ryan, are you still going to use Fauber Consulting to help you find the next coach?
I haven't spoken with Eddie since this broke, but I don't know in the last 48 hours if Eddie's retained or doing any other searches. So once I get in touch with him, we'll have a conversation, depending on what the pool looks like and what the interest level is. Eddie was phenomenal in this search, and that was part of my remarks for our press conference before. He did a really magnificent job organizing this for us. Keeping it very confidential, keeping getting us in front of people that we wanted to talk to, and so we'll revisit that with Eddie. I don't know exactly yet, but if it makes sense for us to do that, then we will proceed with Eddie. If not, then that's okay. I think we have a good enough idea of what the landscape is to go on our own if we need to.
Ryan, this is Michael Vega from the Boston Globe. I don't know if you can hear me, but I had a two-part question here, if I may. The first part was regarding just your personal reaction to the news. I mean, you were this morning, you were under the impression that he was full blown here, and then within a matter of hours after having lunch, he expressed this change of heart. Did he allow you, or did you have any wiggle room to try and maybe quote unquote talk him off the ledge and keep him here? And the second part of the question is, with regard to the memorandum of understanding, is there a clause in place in that presently that allows him to look at another job that may come available that is quote unquote a dream job, but sports, but it's not? Is that something that you will revisit and try to maybe strengthen the language of that memorandum of understanding?
I'm going to take the second part first, because I think that's the easier one, just in terms of factually. The memorandum of understanding has a buyout clause. It doesn't speak to specific jobs. It just speaks to his responsibility to buy the contract out once he has executed that agreement. And so for the first 2 years of the execution, it was $1 million buyout. So we've got to work through that piece. The second piece, the first part of the question, how I felt, I was disappointed. I'm hurt by it, but at the same time, I understand that for him it was personal. The only thing I asked him is if there was anything that we could do, if it was any part of it was about UMass, and he said that it was not. And once I, discovered that, then I thought it was best for us to move in different directions.
Ryan, you said working through that. I mean, is this a legal issue now? Is this your lawyers, his lawyers sort out how much, if not? I mean, are you seeking $1 million?
I don't know what. I don't know if Pat will end up at Winthrop or somewhere else. So obviously, I'll reserve probably comment until we've had the chance to get back together and understand what the impact is for us and for him. And it's probably the best I can do to comment on that.
But it's at some point you're likely to receive some or all of that money?
I don't know. Don't know. I can't confirm. I think by legal agreement, yes, but can't confirm that we will or when.
Anything further for Ryan?